I'm Marlene Yzaguirre, and I go by M. And I was married to Mark, and Mark is actually the one, I was 31, and he introduced me to Jesus. And I had been divorced 3 times. We ran a group home for 10 years for therapeutic foster children. And Mark led many of those children to Jesus just through life. And we had 48 kids in our home, and my youngest we adopted. Our first Sunday here was Easter. I will never forget, it was Easter Sunday, and we walked through these doors and we're so welcomed. And that just sort of did it for us. We just knew, we knew that first Sunday that we were home, and the kids, we had a lot of them because we had foster care kids too, so we filled up the Sunday school. But they all loved the youth group downstairs at Sunday school. And then we just got involved. Our first small group was with Pastor Bud and Brenda, and they just welcomed us in, and with all our craziness, you wouldn't believe the craziness. We went on a cruise for our 20th wedding anniversary that my 3 oldest children from my previous marriages bought us. And Mark drowned on that cruise. We were diving. I stayed in Colorado for 3 years after Mark died, and just decided that I need to leave and just figure out who I was without him. And so Pastor Rick said, I don't think that's wise. I don't think you should go to Florida. It's a long way from your kids and grandkids, which are all here. And I said, nope, that's what I'm doing. Through Facebook and live stream, I just never became unconnected here through grace. Even I did finally, after a year and a half in Florida, find a church similar to Grace, but I didn't get in small groups, which they had to. I just never really connected. So really, even though I was in Florida 7 years, my heart was always here. Then God brought me to be employed. I've been a flight attendant for 12 years, and he brought me to Southwest, and then they based me in Denver, so I had the opportunity to move back here. But as soon as I moved back here, it was like I never left. I started a small group, and those women have they've just been like my lifeline. Recently, I went in for some blood work. I'd been having some issues for quite a while, several years actually, and finally I was sent to a specialist at National Jewish, and he called me at home himself, so of course I knew that wasn't a good sign, and said that he didn't want me to worry, but they did find some cells that were irregular, shouldn't be there. It was very possibly cancer. It might not be, but from the blood work, he thought it was likely. Pastor Rick was doing some taping for his book or something in the sanctuary where I was vacuuming out, so I just stopped for a while for him. He stopped what he was doing and laid hands on me and prayed, lifted me up. And that same week at small group, the women all laid hands on me and prayed for me. And when I went back, there was nothing. It was gone. So whatever that was definitely God's grace and his touch on my body. I would just say that God's grace, your life will never be the same. To just share about the hope we have in God and to share Jesus with other people. Anybody you meet that will listen to you. I share at drive-thrus when I go through and get food, or at the airport with anybody that's willing to listen. If they ask why I look so happy and full of life, I tell them why. I tell them it's because Jesus lives in me.